Hello, hope you're in fine voice. Now, how do voice actors cope with the threat of AI? There's no doubt that it's there. You can't uninvent it, and it's making inroads, certainly into our industry, to some extent. I think it's exaggerated a bit, actually, to be honest. But there are some things you can do to put yourself in a good position to get the work and compete with AI. So here are a few tips. I think the first thing is to focus on what AI can't do, particularly emotional intelligence. It's what we've got that AI hasn't got. And to start with, AI can't understand what the script is saying. It may seem like it is, but it's not really. It's a bit like a parrot. You might think your friendly local parrot, when it says something, really means it, but of course it doesn't understand what's being said. And it's the same with AI. It really doesn't know what's happening on the page in terms of the words. And you, as a human, do know what's being said. So you can bring something subtle, something nuanced to the script, and it's all part of the emotional intelligence. One of the big things we have as human beings is a sense of humour, at least most of us do. And if a script is quite funny, we can convey that humour, that sarcasm, that irony. All these are very, very kind of human characteristics, I suppose, aren't they? And they're culturally based as well, which AI doesn't. It's just words on a page that it's taking and kind of conveying it to the audience. But it doesn't really understand what's being said. So because of that, it can't really convey any sense of humour, not that comes across as being convincing and authentic. Another thing that we've got that AI doesn't is imagination. We can create worlds, and when we tell a story, we can paint those pictures, not just with the words, but with the tone. Because, of course, going back to this original thing, we understand what's being said. So we can make a fantastical world. We can create those images that can be powerful, and we have a palette of tonal colours which are subtle and, of course, are based on us being able to understand the words on the page. So AI can't really do this, at least not at the moment. So we've got that as a big advantage. Last year, I was talking to one of my clients about AI, and I said, just in a bit of downtime that we had between takes, I just said to him, have you ever used AI? And he said, well, yeah, on occasion, yep, I admit we've done that here. And he said, but the issue he found was that it required quite a lot of skill on the part of the operator, i.e. the client or the director or the producer. And he said, if you don't know what you want, with a human voice actor, you can say to them, oh, can you just give me some ideas about this? I've got a rough idea myself of what it should sound like, but I want to see what you think. And of course, a good voiceover artist will be able to go, yeah, I'll give you some interpretations of that because I understand the script. And then to be able to do that is a really big advantage to the client. So they can go, yeah, that's quite good, but slow it down just a little bit and let's have an upward inflection at the end of that and then come back down again. And you can do all of that, but that's quite hard to process that in terms of AI. So what my client was saying was that unless you know what, as a client he's talking about, as a director or producer, that if you can't say what you want, AI will give you something that you probably don't need or you don't want, and you waste a lot of time doing that. Whereas you can interact with a human voice actor and they will hopefully be on the same wavelength as you are and be able to say, yeah, I know where you're coming from, and let's try a few different reads here. Let's try a few different thoughts, and you can muck around with it and try it out, see what works and what doesn't work. It's all about subtlety and nuance and understanding. Does AI do that? I don't think so. And the final thought, I would say, don't be perfect. AI is trying to be perfect, isn't it? It's trying to be the best ever human voice actor ever. That's what it's programmed to do. But as a human, well, actually, I'm not perfect. Actually, I make mistakes. I drop my T's. I do this and that. I'm not saying muck up the script and deliberately misread things, but I am saying try not to cross every T and dot every I to make it an absolutely perfect read each time. A couple of rough edges, scuff it up a bit. All of these things really help, really say to the listener, this voice actor, this voiceover knows what it's talking about because it connects with me. It makes that human connection. And so far, AI can't do that. Be aware of the threat of AI, but don't panic at the moment. Just keep it real, as they say. All right, thanks a lot for watching today. Look after your voice and see you next time.